All right, hi, welcome back. Sorry, I really should have let her know, like, right as soon as I was walking out the door. They're like, hey, I'm on my way. And just letting her know that I'm on my way over there. Okay, she just said okay. I'm pretty sure she just did, because she just messaged me back. So yeah, I have no idea who that guy was. And just a dude listening to some headbangers in the streets of town at 2 in the morning. Yeah, right now would be lunchtime. See, here's the thing about working thirds at Walmart. I mean, you can get there, whenever. The earliest you're allowed to clock in, because, we're supposed to be there from 10 to 7. The earliest that you can clock in is 9:51. And I think the latest, without being considered quote-unquote tardy, is I believe it's either 10:01 or 10:11. It's one of those. But might as well, if you're clocking in at 10:01, then if you're not clocked in, but at least if you're not clocked in by at least, I mean, obviously, if you're not clocked in by 10:11, you're considered late, because we'd be, over with the meeting by then. And if you're not clocked in by 10:01, then you're still considered quote-unquote tardy, even though if you walked in literally at like 5 till, and you didn't make it back there until like at 9:59, because it takes a while for you to walk from the entrance and the front of the store all the way into the back where you're supposed to have your meeting. And so yeah, we have our meeting, which usually lasts somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what's going on. And the first thing we do is that, we zone first. What that means is that if you're let's say you're at the, let's say you're in the breakfast aisle, where like all the Pop-Tarts and cereal and oatmeal are. What zoning means is that you take all the stuff that's on the shelf and you pull it forward to make it look like it's full. Because everyone is assigned either an aisle in grocery, or just zone the area that they're assigned to, like HBA, which is like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, that type of stuff, and deodorant, and or toys, you gotta zone that, make it look like it's full. As long as you zone for at least an hour, you can then pack all your trash up, and you can start on your work. First break doesn't start until 12 o'clock, so at midnight. But it has to be 15 minutes. But sometimes if you're like a good worker, you can take a little bit longer. But it has to be done within the 12 o'clock hour. and it can only happen once. But I mean, if you leave your area after like coming back for like 5 minutes to like go to the bathroom or to go get a drink, that's fine, that's whatever. But if you're just going back outside on your break or going back in the the break room while you just came back from break, that's just dumb. And then, you work for at least another 2 hours. And then, starting at 2 o'clock is lunch. And you're allowed to have an hour for lunch. So some people, well, most people actually, go to lunch directly at 2, which makes no sense to me. But, I mean, I guess if they're really hungry, I guess they can, go to lunch a little sooner. But it's also a lot quieter, and you can kind of mind yourself a little bit. When most of everyone goes at 2. I personally prefer to go at anywhere between 2:15 and 2:30. Sometimes we'll go to 2:45, but that's just really like pushing it. And you can stay on property for your hour lunch. You can go get food, come back, or you can even go home for your hour lunch, and then you can come back. I mean, as long as you're off the clock, you can leave property. But see, for us, Walmart's over on the other side of town, and we're over here on this side of town. Sometimes it kind of defeats the whole purpose. But, that's just the way it is, I guess. Yeah. You can take your lunch anytime between the 2 and 3 o'clock hours, which is why we like to wait until around at least 2:30, because we take it at 2:30, we leave, come over to the house for lunch, kind of just sit, talk, watch YouTube, whatever, eat, and then we come back. But by then it's probably like around 4, because sometimes we like to take a little extra time on our lunch and just kind of chill a little bit longer. Which, are we allowed to do that? Not necessarily, because it kind of looks bad on your check. But if you're a hard worker, then I guess it doesn't really matter. The shortest amount of time you can take on a lunch is 30 minutes. Like, you have to technically take your lunch. But, you also have an option to not take your 15s. So you can actually work if you're actually on premises for at least 9 hours, if you don't drive. Yeah, if you're on premises until at least for 9 hours. And if you don't take your lunch, then you're gonna get in trouble. Now, if you forget to do it, maybe once or twice, you know, that might be a little bit forgiving. Like if you're starting your first week there and you forget to clock out for lunch, I think they'll let it go. But I think after at least your first month, they might get a little questionable about that. I don't know. I never tried it. I'm not going to attempt to try it. I personally would not recommend for you to do that. You don't have to take your 15s, but you have to take at least a 30-minute lunch, at least. But I mean, I guess it also makes sense for some people to go at 2 because there's always a small group of people that always end up playing like Smash in the break room during lunch. But yeah. Once again, I should have went to the bathroom before going out on this trip. I have to poop. Or maybe that's just gas. Because I also just ate a whole pizza. About a couple hours ago. I probably should go and vote. Since early voting started like about a week ago. And I honestly don't know where the closest polling station would be from over where I live now. So I guess the best one that I can probably think of I'll probably just end up going to the Board of Elections one of these days and just go vote down there. Because, you know, that way it's simple, it's quick, it's easy, you know. But 5 o'clock, we're working at Walmart on Thirds, is you can take your last break then. Again, you don't have to take your last 15. As long as it's within the 5 o'clock hour, you're fine. Like, at least when you start it. But depending on where you are in your area, you have to wear a mask at least during your first hour and your last hour. So at least during the 10 o'clock hour and at the 6 o'clock hour. Sometimes when you're like busy trying to get stuff done during the 6 o'clock hour and you just totally forget, like, oh shit, I need to put my mask on. So you'll have to like scurry around and put your mask on. And then yeah, the earliest that you're allowed to clock out is 6:51. Although I think some people just wait until 7, or at least a little bit after 7, because technically anything after 7 is technically overtime. My Taco Bell friend is trying to get a hold of me. So we're gonna end part 2 off right here. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in part 3. Toodles.